Doody. Howdy doody. We are here for Sunday Night Live. It's Sunday Night Live. We are live. We are live. We're live, everybody. It's Sunday evening, 5 o'clock. This is what we do. Listen, anybody who wants us to have a different song at the end, at the beginning of our live, needs to give us a new song. Because I'm always open to new songs, to my little intro song. I make them up as I go. I make them up as I go. So if you decide you want us to have something different, you're gonna have to give us a new song. All right, give us a new song, and then we'll have a new one. You give us a new song, we'll have a new song, and then we can do dun, 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 dun. We'll have a new song. All right, definitely give us a new song. All right, I was doing something real quick, and then you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all, it's bad when you're distracted and stuff. You get yourself moved into doing other things, and before you know it, there we go. I think that's what I wanted to do. My mind went to something else, and I figure I needed to do it right now while I'm thinking about it. So guess what? Because I forget stuff along the way. I was like, oh yeah, I meant to do that. And then the fourth person you're like, I forgot. I was supposed to go back, and then I forgot. Looks like I got some people. I was trying to give it a minute for the platform to let the people know that we're here. Go look at my comments. Hey, Ward. Hey, Jermaine. Hey, good evening. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, which is 5 o'clock here. On the East Coast, it's 5 o'clock here on a Sunday evening. Yep, it's a Sunday evening and it's 5 o'clock. I think if you're on the Central Standard, it's 4 o'clock. And Pacific, I think it's 3 o'clock. And then what is it? What is it? What I think it's Mountain. Mountain is in between Central and Pacific. And that's Mountain, right? So Mountain is 3 o'clock. And then Pacific, which is on the West Coast, it is 2 o'clock. A few hours behind. I know about that, being a few hours behind. All right. So let's see what the market had for us this past week and what potentially the market has for us this coming week. All right. Let's look at what the market did last week. All right. Let's look to see. This is a weekly chart of, well, let me share the screen. How about we do that? How about we share the screen? There we go. This is a weekly chart of SPX. SPX is showing a nice little hammer on the weekly chart for those who know about hammers and such. Hammers generally is a sign that it wants to continue to go upwards some more. Generally, that's what hammers tell us, is that it want to go. This is a failed two down for those who watch that. A failed two down basically means it went two down, but then it closed green. A failed two down could be an indication that it wants to go up some more. You got an entry at the top of this. Let me see if I can find me a ray. Put this at the top of this. There we go. So above 64.78, which is, yep, at the high of last week's candle, 64.78, could be where it wants to keep going. All right, that was last week's candle. All right, let's look at the daily for SPX on the daily charts. See what it did on the daily. All right, this was Monday. Little bitty doji. Monday just didn't really do a lot of nothing. Open and close pretty much the same. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pull back. And then Friday decided, yep, I'm going to get all that. And it went back and got all that was left behind. But it left behind some gaps, right? Left behind a little bit of a gap right here. Close of one candle to the open of another. And then this is what some people would call a pivot machine gun, which is where it pulls back. Well, down, down, down. And then in one candle basically closes all of those candles. So if there were people who were riding along doing in puts or going in a downward motion. Basically, this one candle on Friday stopped out all of those people who were sitting in puts. Our high for the week, though, was 64.77, which is what I marked there. 64.77 was the high for the week, and it went right up there and touched that high. It pulled back a little bit. It didn't close there. It closed at 64.66, right? Let's put us a little bit of a line on this support right here, because this could be a weekly, well, we're going to call it a daily. Oh, nope. That's not what I wanted you to do. Even though I'm not here for charting. Not what where's my mouse? Okay, my mouse is somewhere. There it is. It's dancing around. I want the daily support and resistance. I usually do it S and R. That way, if it's support in one front, it becomes resistance someplace else. There's a few more here, but again, I did not come here to chart. This is not that kind of party. I chart with my membership folks. Me and the membership folks, we chart after this call. Those who are in the Option Seller Zone membership, we chart. And on Sunday evenings, hey, my day, Littlefield, we chart on Sunday evenings after this call. We chart and train. It's not just charting, because we do training. Like today, we're going to talk a little bit more about gaps and how can we trade fair value gaps. We're going to talk about that this evenings, along with getting ourselves prepared for what we're looking for next week. That's what we do every Sunday. And of course, we trade together all week long. Trading is very lonely. You have to have a community to do that with. If you're trading by, not saying that you can't trade by yourself, because you can, but trading, in my opinion, requires a community, because there's enough of it that's lonely. You really just need to have some people to do it with. Those are my thoughts. Okay. So this is what the week held for us as far as SPX held for the week. And of course, our SPY and Triple Q is going to look very similar. We can do a little quick look at IWM. It's going to look a little different. SPY, Triple Q, those are going to look very similar to SPX, but IWM is going to look a little bit different. This is the daily chart there as well. Daily chart, we've got Monday. Again, another green, pulled back a couple days. Actually, on Thursday for IWM, it started to pull out of the gate. And then it went on up Friday with everything else. Friday's announcement from Powell, when Powell at Jackson Hole, that put a nice little surge in everybody's Kool-Aid. Everybody got a nice little surge on Friday. Okay, everybody got a surge on Friday. IWM, this is a weekly chart on IWM. It's been in a steady upwards movement. All righty, so that's where we are on the daily chart for IWM. That's what happened last week. All right, wanted to show you what happened last week. Let's go talk about what could potentially be coming for next week. Where are we? I'm on the same screen. I don't want to talk about that yet. Let's go to my calendar first, because I'm going to hit a topic. Hey, Michael, got a topic I want to, well, it ain't a topic. It's just going to throw out a piece. But here's our meetings coming up for next week. Monday morning, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, new home sales orange folder. 3:15, FOMC member Logan will speak, and 7:15, Williams will speak. Tuesday, 8:30 in the morning, we got core durable goods orders month over month, and Barkin will speak at 8:30 on Tuesday morning. 9 o'clock, HPI, housing prices index month over month. CS composite 20-year HPI year over year is also Tuesday at 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock, CB consumer confidence. Richmond manufacturing index 10 o'clock on Tuesday. 4:30, API weekly statistical bulletin. Wednesday, crude oil inventory at 10:30, 11:45, FOMC member Barkin will speak. Thursday, preliminary GDP quarter over quarter, 8:30, unemployment claims, preliminary GDP price index, all that's 8:30 on Thursday. 10 o'clock, pending home sales month over month. 10:30, natural gas storage. 6 o'clock, FOMC member Waller will speak. Friday, 8:30, core PCE price index month over month, goods trades balance, personal income, personal spending, preliminary wholesale inventory. That's a red folder coming up on 8:30 on Friday morning. 9:45 Chicago PMI. 10 o'clock revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment, University of Michigan inflation expectations. So we do have a red folder 2 of the 5 days next week. Got some orange folders and a little bit of data popping up. You know, we just had Jackson Hole was Friday. And like I said, Powell gave his talks about the potential for rate cuts. Rate cut. And that got everybody all excited. All excited. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Solar executives say Trump's attack on renewables will lead to power crunch that spikes the prices. We don't need nothing else spiking the prices of power. Trump says furniture tariffs are coming later this year. Eli Lilly obesity pill stays a viable rival to Novo Nordisk oral Wegovy despite modest data. How the U.S. space industry became dependent on SpaceX. You know why? I know why it became dependent, because we quit putting money on other people who were in the space race. You let one person do all the doing, then you depend on the one person to do it. You pull money from programs that are going to do our space exploration. Then you wonder why there's only one company's doing it, and you got to give them all the money. Hello, duh. 56 minutes ago, Kramer puts together a Monday playbook after the market's Fed-driven rip higher. 3 things watching in the stock market. Putin and Zelensky have no meeting planned. Russia official says, I built a tiny house in my yard for $5,000. It's the size of a closet. Oh, my goodness. Nobody's going to need how the space industry became dependent on SpaceX. That's not going to take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Yeah, it's not going to take a rocket scientist to figure that out. If you take away the money that's going to let public industry go after something, and you give all the money to private industry, then you will be dependent on the one person or the 1 or 2 companies that provide something for you with their money. And oh, by the way, they're still using your money, because that same SpaceX gets government contracts. Duh. So they still use the government money. Why didn't you just fund it through a government program? Anyway, I'm only talking about this because I used to work for the space shuttle program. By the way, I'm a space shuttle engineer, and there was a lot of subcontractors, but the space shuttle industry just kind of went poof because the money dried up, and the companies weren't there anymore because government contracts and all that stuff dried up. SpaceX was the one that kept going. I think something like Ocean or somebody also stayed around, but anyway, I'm going to move on from there because I can get on that soapbox and not get off, but I'm not doing that. Okay. NVIDIA has earnings this week. I'm going to go to the earnings calendar first, and then I'll swing back to the conversation about NVIDIA and earnings. Something went in my eye. This is our earnings for this week. Thank you, EP Whispers, for our earnings chart. On Monday, we've got PDD, Pan Duo, Monday morning, NAPCO and SESOL, SASOL, or SSL is the ticker. Monday after close, Simtech, HEICO, or HEI, and Molecular Partners. That's all Monday. Tuesday morning before open, BMO, Scotiabank, BEKE, ECAR, ATAT, Ehang, this is some Chinese name, HDL, DQ, New Energy, CDLR, and BZLFY. Okta is Tuesday after close. Mongo, Box, Encino, PVH, Electromed, Joy, Grupo, UMA, and Tuya. All that's Tuesday. Wednesday morning, we've got Kohl's, Abercrombie and Fitch, Williams Sonoma, JM Smuckers Company, the jelly people, RBC, Donaldson, Hafnia, Photronics, Mastercraft Boat Holdings, and Up FinTech. And then Wednesday after the market closes, I think it's interesting, is NVIDIA, by the way. I think it's interesting that in the midst of all the tech earnings, we'll have like Amazon and Apple and Microsoft and Meta. All of those will be like all in together, and or even the semis will be all together. And here NVIDIA is like sitting all by its lonesome. And this always the case? I don't watch it close enough, but is it always off in earnings on a timing thing all by itself. Like all these things around it, not that these companies aren't important. I'm just saying that none of the big boys are around in this earnings week. Nvidia is here in earnings all by itself. Hey Tanya, I didn't see you were here. Nvidia is sitting all by itself. Is that usually what happens? That Nvidia trades, has earnings when nothing else is having earnings? Anyway, Nvidia, Snowflake, CrowdStrike is here on Wednesday. HP, Urban Outfitters, Viva, Nutanix, Pure Storage, Five Below, and Cooper Companies. Thursday morning, Dollar General, Best Buy, TD Bank, Victoria's Secret. I really wonder what her secret is. Sipco, Ollie's, Good Stuff Cheap, Burlington, Dick's, Bath and Body Works. Thursday after close, Marvel, Dale, Iris Energy, Ulta, the makeup people, Sentinel One, Affirm, the finances, Ambarella, Gap, Elastic, Petco. And Friday morning before open, we've got Alibaba or Baba, DOOO, Frontline, and Chagi. Nobody had the answer to the Nvidia thing. Janae must not be on here because that's something she would be able to answer with no problems because she'd be watching Nvidia. She'd be watching Nvidia. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to the screen that we talk about. Nvidia earnings is set to test AI trade. Here's what to watch this week. Nvidia all by itself. And we already know Nvidia moves the market. It moves the market. Locals blown away by Meta's $10 billion Indiana data center build out. Americans aren't drinking anymore. Alcohol giants are scrambling. Really? I think that's interesting. When Fed chairs open the door for a rate cut, it's difficult to close. I will say, I went to my husband and I went to like a pop-up. We live in Jacksonville. We went to like this pop-up festival thing. There was a lot of different vendors were there. And one of the things that was that several people were selling, it was more than one vendor at this pop-up. Several of them were selling THC drinks. They were selling THC drinks, and they were touting the difference between this drink and its effects on your body versus the effects of alcohol on your body. That's what this was like. I won't call it their selling point, but this was one of the things that they wanted to push, was like this was a better alternative than alcohol on the body. And I was like, oh, we listened, but it was like, oh, of course they were giving these drinks away because that's what happens. They give samples to get you to buy later. They give samples to get you to buy. They came in all the flavors, all the fruity flavors, so you could try them. Okay, getting employees back to the office is at an inflection point. Ethereum briefly touches a new high. AI-led job interviews are increasing. Here are 10 tips for applicants. Businesses scramble as de minimis tariff exemption set to end. Analyst details 3 defense stocks plays under the Trump administration. The thinnest iPhone ever, and other Apple events expectations. Okay. Who founded Leg Mason, TechCrunch, Mobility? People love the fake Labubu's. Oh no, don't go for that. Praise for the Fed's mega makeover. Saying consumer trends. I'm looking to see if anything interesting was there. Is bullish on Nvidia pre-earnings. S&P CEOs saw their pay jump in 2024. Okay, well, there's that. All right. Basically, Nvidia's earnings is happening this week. Looks like it was Wednesday. I think I said Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday after close. I'm sure I won't have any problem getting reminded multiple times through the week of when it's coming, because it is coming. All right. E2T University is open. E2T University is open, 12 weeks trading. If you're in any of my social media or you're in my email list, you should have seen some information about the pricing for E2T University continuing. The early bird pricing is still open. It's still open at the $14.97 price point. $14.97 for E2T University. And I also have it with the what's the thing called? I also have it for the payment plan. You can go to, you can go straight to my website, or you can go to, if you want to read more about it, you can go to the page, the landing page that talks about Versity One, or you can go to the page that talks about E2T University, which is the one I should have just copied the link, duh. Or you can go straight to my website in order to register and to enroll. We're starting on September 22nd. Right? You're starting on September 22nd, but there are limited spaces and we are taking in folks. I'm not extending the price because people aren't registering. That is not what's happening. I'm extending the price because I realized that I talked about E2T University for a long time, but I didn't talk about the price. And then when I finally talked about the price, I was like, yep, it's open. Now you got 48 hours to pay. And I just realized, I was like, after I thought about it, I was like, that really was kind of unfair to talk about it all this time, get everybody all prepped and hyped for it, and then say, oh, by the way, you got 2 days to pay. And I was like, well, that really wasn't right. I want people to have the opportunity to be a part of E2T University. And I'm not one who really um subscribes to the whole scarcity mindset. When I'm saying there really is limited spots, there really are limited spots. I'm not saying there's limited spots because I'm trying to make you hurry up and sign up. No, I'm saying there's limited spots because there really are. I can't teach but so many people at a time, and I have a plan. I really want to be able to assist people along the way, and if I have too many, I can't do that. That's really what it's about. So if you're interested in signing up, you still got time, right? You can go ahead at the same $14.97 price. If you're already a part of my membership, you get to cut that in half. If you're already a part of my membership, you're getting the deal of a deal. You get to pay half price and you get to pay a payment plan. So, but don't dawdle, as my daughter would say. Don't dawdle, because once the spaces fill up, it will be full, because I really want to be able to service the people who are there. I want to serve them at my highest ability, and I can't serve people if I have too many. I can't serve everybody at my highest ability if I have too many folks. All right. So don't be just dragging your feet going, oh, I got time. You'll look up and there will be no more spaces. All right. And I mean that not because, again, not because I'm trying to push the whole scarcity mentality, because I'm not. I'm really just saying there's not going to be a bunch of room. All right. That's really just the facts. It's just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. All right. 12-week program. That's what's going on. Janae, I was asking about if Nvidia always has earnings where it's off by itself, or does it usually have earnings around other things? Because it's this time it's having earnings on Wednesday, but it's like nothing else. I won't say nothing else of import, but no other big boys are having earnings at the same time. So I was asking, does Nvidia always have earnings when it's kind of off to itself, or does it usually have earnings around other things, like other big companies, or does it try to always be off to itself? She said, you said Nvidia is always late by itself. Okay, cool. I don't think I knew that. Again, I don't trade Nvidia like that, even though it is a big part of SPX. So I really should be paying a lot closer attention, because it is such a big part of SPX. I probably should be a little more cognizant of that. Okay, so where are we? We're at the trades list for the week. Several things are showing up. I do know, Janae. I know it moves SPX, baby. I know. That's Janae's like motto. You should hold a sign up. It moves SPX. It moves SPX, because it does. I know it does. I know it. Yes, I know it. Okay, so several things are on the list, are on both lists. And one thing I didn't do, so pay attention here, down where it says for the week of, I need to update that piece at the bottom left. A good thing I didn't publish this to all my social media yet, because I need to change those dates at the bottom left down there, where it says the August 11 through 15. I need to update those dates. Yeah, today. Yeah. Selena, yes, it does. And triple Q. I know, I know. I already know. Do not get Janae moving because Janae will be like, I try to tell you, Arlissa, all the time that it moves SPX. I know, girlfriend. I know. I know. Anyway, um, this is our list. The star means that it's on both things. That's on both lists, the call credit spread and the put credit spread list. So we've got AMAT. Amazon is really only on the put credit spread list because it is still bullish. Baidu, I feel like Baidu. No, Baidu had earnings a couple weeks ago. Procter and Gamble is on here on both lists. Starbucks is on both lists. Target, both lists. It's sitting neutral as well. TLT sitting neutral, and Exxon. Over on the call credit spread list, all those ones I just mentioned, and V or Visa is also on the call credit spread list. There was other things that popped up, but they didn't really fit my criteria, the criteria that I use to put things on my list. So this is what we got for the week. This is what we got for the week. All right. So look, which one, everybody who's watching, which ones, which things catch your fancy? What's a stock that you like off of here that catches your fancy? What's a stock that catches your fancy on this list? I generally trade Amazon every week. That's the one that I leave on my list with Peakbot. I almost always leave Amazon on my list with Peakbot. Y'all see, I do Peakbot for automated trading. I let Peakbot run my trades every week. I think this is 25. Yep, it is. I let Peakbot run mine every week. Oh, come on. I'm trying to fix it while we're on the fly and it's not wanting to do right. I use Amazon and usually some others, but this week I changed mine to include Amazon, IWM, SPY, and Triple Q. Those were the ones I changed. Now, somebody in my community asked a very good question, which was, really made a comment about NVIDIA having earnings, which would have an effect on SPY and Triple Q. Turns out that Peakbot did not enter SPY and Triple Q for me on Friday. It just entered IWM and Amazon. So it didn't enter those. So I may need to over the weekend pause it from entering Triple Q just so it doesn't get swung all wildly by NVIDIA, because NVIDIA earnings could definitely swing it. So that's Amazon, Target, Starbucks. Okay, Amazon, yeah. Doing iron condors. Well, these are all iron condors. What you may look at though and say, I don't know if I like both sides, and you just may go with one side. You might say, I don't know if I'm really a fan of both sides. Maybe you feel like it's more bullish or more bearish, and you just go with one side. But you got numbers on here for either side or both sides. You can look to say, okay, I see it going one way, and once it hits a good resistance and returns, you can go ahead and enter that call credit spread. And when it drops and reverses, you can enter the put credit spread. You can make it do what it do. All right. Make it do what it do. Amazon is one of my faves. Last week, Amazon got me though. It got me from the standpoint of Amazon dropped and dropped. I thought it was going to stay through my strike. So I exited for a loss, only for after the announcement on Friday, it to recover, like to blow right back through those strikes, close with no problems. I was kicking myself because I really could have waited some more. But I was like, oh, I'm not going to sit here and let it just be, it was past my stop loss. I was down like $160 on a 2.5 spread, which would have been 250. And I was like, I'm just not going to sit here and leave it. But I really could have just given it a little more time, seeing that we was getting ready to have an announcement. Janae said we're not looking at Target. Now, if we trading Target as a credit spread, it's not like you looking at it, because all you doing is capitalizing off of the money. You ain't even buying no shares. You just capitalizing off of the spread. That's where you gonna get all the money, and you don't even, nothing to be done there. But you're right. Listen, the Target folks, they They didn't get they was in the midst of FAFO and didn't realize we was serious. Oh, they just playing. Yeah, you realize people don't they don't count our dollars. And it wasn't just our dollars. DEI covered more than just us. Because I think some people who thought it wasn't no big deal realized real fast that the people who got DEI, wait a minute, that's a bunch, the people who shop at Target is the DEI folks. And you decide we don't want DEI. Okay, well, let's see who gonna be shopping at your store. So Janae says we taking the money and run, but we not giving it exposure. Okay, I get you, I get you, I get you. We're not looking at it on no chart. I'm not putting it on no screen, but we will take their money and go. Yeah, that could be the truth there. I can go along with that. Okay, so I have covered what I wanted to cover as far as I don't think I got another screen here. My next screen, I think, is E2T University, which swings us back around. Selena said, I hope they go to zero. You know what? The way they did things, and I think what's interesting for me is the way they doubled down. It's like, this was my thing. You realize really early that this left turn y'all took was the wrong turn. You know how when you driving and you realize real fast that I took a wrong turn. Generally, you take another turn and get on the right path. But they found out real quick that they had taken the wrong turn. They doubled down on the wrong directions. It was like, no, well, I'm still sticking. I think the CEO did resign from CEOing, but he went to do something else that basically will have whatever he went to go do. It will have the CEO reporting to him. So he's still at the helm. He's just not in that same role. It just comes down to it's now just words. That's why I say words, it's titles and stuff. But he's still, I think, from what I understand, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, the position he's taking will have the new CEO like reporting to him. So he's still in a position of command. He's still in a position of control. But maybe they figure if they put somebody else at the helm and call them CEO, that's going to help turn some things around. I wouldn't be shocked. And this is just me speculating, spec you guessing that they're going to go find them a person of color or a female to come and fill the spot. They're going to go get a person of color or a female to fill the spot, thinking that's going to pacify us. When I say us, I'm talking about the collective DEI, us that decided we wasn't fooling up with them no more. That's what I mean when I say us. Never going back. Listen, there's nothing I'm missing out of Target. There's nothing I'm missing. All the shopping I need to do, I can find everything they got at Target someplace else. I don't need to return personally. You know, I'm not missing a thing at Target. First of all, I don't do a whole lot of shopping, no way, inside of a store. Not me. I buy a lot of stuff on almost everything I buy online. It can be delivered at my door. But there's nothing I had to have that was in there. That's what they did with Walgreens. Yeah, Walgreens boots. I feel like that's what's probably gonna happen. They're gonna go tap somebody that they feel is going to pacify the people and try to put them at the helm and make them the new face. Tanya said, I have not missed it at all. Me neither. Now, what only thing Target did that maybe benefit, like in my area, there's a Target that is the store that's like there's no Walmart that's nearby. True, Walmart was like, we'll fix that. Walmart put one right down the road. It's getting ready to open. It's getting ready to open. They saw that it's almost like they went to see where is there a Target in all these places, and they went and bought land right nearby so they could put one right up down the street. It is literally a Walmart in my area. There's a Target there for a long time, and there was no Walmart close by. Next thing we know, there's a bunch of land, and they start clearing land, and a Walmart is going up. You literally could walk to it. And then for a long time, there was no Walmart that close. Now there's going to be one right up the road. Right up the road. You could drive up the street and be 2 or 3 more lights. You'll be not even 2 more lights, maybe two lights. You'll be at the Walmart. You'll be at the Walmart. You can roll right past Target and be like, psh, I'm still getting what I need for something. Now, some people have sworn off Walmart just because it's just a lot that happens at the Walmart. But, my husband is a Walmart fan. He didn't like Target way back. So he never was a go into Target person. He would drive past the Target to go all the way to the Walmart. I would be like, it's more convenient right here. And he's like, nope, I'll drive the rest of the way. Shalina said never shop there much at all. So yeah, there's that. Okay, I'm gonna wind this up. So I've covered our earnings. I've covered what we looked at last week, what we're potentially looking at for next week. We got earnings on Wednesday with Nvidia and the aftermarket on Wednesday. SPX did stop on a hammer, looking like it wants to go up some more, kind of to keep moving left. It did leave a little bit of a gap below, but we're going to trade what we see, as we always do. We're going to trade what we see. Okay. The SPX, our SPX XSP membership is always open. We trade SPX XSP every single day, 0 DTE. E2T University is going to incorporate that. Is going to also incorporate cash secure puts, covered calls, credit spreads on the weeklies. It's going to be a full package of how to trade options, how to learn how to use your charting, how to do all those things, and how to trade options as a seller, as a more of a full package, not just focused on SPX. Okay, that's what's going on there. So if you want to join up, you've got the link. It's running along the bottom. Actually, you can go ahead and join up. All righty. So I'm going to get off here. I will be on tomorrow morning. I'll be on tomorrow morning, 8:30. I'm always on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to see what the day holds for us. All righty. If you want to join me, feel free. Be sure to like and subscribe. Pass the word to the folks who you know need to learn how to trade options, and you know you're not the best person to teach them. Please send them my way so that they can come on and learn how to trade options and all that stuff. All right. So we're going to do two things. We're going to stay green. We're going to get this money. All right. I'll see you, everybody. Y'all have a good evening. For those in the membership, I will see you all at 6 o'clock. All righty. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.